Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, March the 11th, and we're here to look at the new releases that were published this week. And on Tuesdays, we look at the darker side of mysteries, the crime fiction and thrillers. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. Bring your own book, work on a project, or just close your eyes as you fall asleep, listening to the ambiance that is whatever makes you happy. Good morning, Kim. How you doing? How was your day yesterday? Your day of nothing? All right, so crime fiction and thrillers. First up, a new one by Sarah Bladel. This is called A Mother's Love. When innkeeper Dorothy Hill, this is from Danish author Sarah Bladel, so it's set there. When innkeeper Dorothy Hilstead is found murdered, the police are surprised and puzzled to discover a concealed nursery in her upstairs apartment. As far as her friends and family knew, the recently widowed Dorothy was childless. So who lived in this secret toy-strewn room, and more importantly, where is the child now? Detective Louise Rick has just taken on a challenging new job as head of the freshly created mobile task unit, which is charged with solving the most difficult cases all over Denmark. With Dorothy's murder as her first investigation and the clock ticking to find the missing child, Louise is dismayed to learn that none of her handpicked group of seasoned investigators have been approved for transfer to her new unit. Instead, she must cobble together a brand new, unproven team from a group of officers she's never met. Worst of all, the case will necessitate collaborating with the Missing Persons Department, which will mean working closely with Louise's former fiancé, Ake, who abruptly broke things off last year, leaving her devastated, etc. Well, that sounds very cool. Police procedurally. Kim says, slept a lot. Ball game tonight at 5:30. Oh, nice. And sleep is always good. Good morning, Mary. Happy Tuesday. A sunny day and supposed to hit 70 degrees. Holy moly. Everyone was basking in the sun yesterday and it only hit 66. I know, once you feel it again, it's like, woo, this is balmy. Imagine today going beating today. Oh, nice. And Mary says, hi, Kim. Glad you hear you had a good day yesterday. And how was your massage yesterday, Mary? Inquiring minds want to know. All the Other Mothers Hate Me by Sarah Harmon. The missing boy is 10-year-old Alfie Risby, and to be perfectly honest with you, he's a little shit. Florence Grimes is a 31-year-old party girl who always takes the easy way out. Single, broke, and unfulfilled after the humiliating end to her girl band career, she has only one reason to get out of bed each day, her 10-year-old son, Dylan. But when Alfie Risby, her son's bully and the heir to a vast frozen food empire, mysteriously vanishes during a class trip, and Dylan becomes the prime suspect, Florence, for once, is faced with a task she can't quit. She's got to find Alfie and clear her son's name, or risk losing Dylan forever. The only problem, Florence has no useful skills, let alone investigative ones, and all the other school moms hate her. Oh, and Florence has a reason to suspect Dylan might not be as innocent as she'd like to believe. Well, that sounds intriguing. Claire Darling by Callie Kazumi. Kim says, thank you. And Mary, it was fabulous. I highly recommend this massage to get more in touch with your body. Ooh, and body issues. It sounds lovely, though. She's been ghosted, but she won't be forgotten. Claire's excited to drop off a surprise workday lunch for her fiancé, Noah. It's their anniversary, after all, but when the receptionist tells her that no one with Noah's name works there, Claire thinks there must be a mistake. Noah isn't picking up her calls. Her texts go unanswered. It turns out Noah has a different life, one with a beautiful girlfriend, a beautiful house. Claire was never really in the picture. Desperate to speak to Noah and convince him to return to their dream life, Claire plunges into a nightmarish journey of obsession that submerges her deeper into the murky waters of her own past, a past dominated by a manipulative mother who shattered her sense of self. Will Claire break free from the ghosts that haunt her, or will they become more costly than any of Noah's lies? I must be in the mood for dark. So far, I'm liking these better kind of than yesterday. The Trouble Up North by Travis Mulhauser. Here I have a page or two left in my book. Oh, and on to the next, which I have to go to the library to pick up. Nice. Came high of 75 today. Love it. We're dipping back into the cold today. Briefly. The Sawbrooks have lived on prime real estate on the lakes of Michigan since before there was prime real estate. A family of smugglers and bootleggers, every man, woman, and child in each generation has been taught to navigate the nooks and crannies of the rivers and highways that flow in and out of Canada. The hidden routes are the family's legacy, but today the Sawbrooks are deeply fractured and the money that sustained the family is running out. Edward, the Sawbrook patriarch, is dying from cancer, and his wife, Rhoda, is bitterly disappointed in her 3 adult children. The eldest daughter, Lucy, is now a park ranger working to federally protect the land against her mother's will. The middle son, Buckner, hasn't been the same since he came back from the army suffering from alcoholism, and the youngest daughter, Jewel, is wasting her potential as a card player and bartender. When Jewel is asked to commit a crime for a major insurance payout, she agrees, eager for the cash. But too late, she realizes that the boat she torched wasn't empty. Together, the Sawbrooks will have to contend with the old familial ways and the new, shifting world and face each other and their pain-filled past to smuggle one more thing out of their land to safety. End of row 1. We have one day in the 60s forecasted in the next 2 weeks. 180. Oh my goodness. And the rest are in the 70s. Is that typical for down there in March? The Usual Family Mayhem by Helen K. Diamond. Casey Nottingham needs a splashy idea at her company where they find and develop the next big thing for investors. Her job depends on it. Impulsively, she pitches Meg's Desserts, a beloved small-town business run by her grandma Meg's and live-in best friend Celia, 2 women who overcame deadbeat husbands and financial ruin to build a word-of-mouth clientele. Casey expects her boss to say no. Instead, he sends her home to North Carolina to land the deal, and now she has a problem. Megs and Celia aren't interested, which isn't a surprise, but something else is going on in their kitchen. Locked cabinets, cryptic conversations, unexpected notations on business records. The ladies have secrets, and whatever they're hiding is big. As reports of mysterious deaths of abusive men in the area surface, all in households that recently received a delivery from Meg's Desserts, Casey worries Graham and Celia have gone into the poison pie business. As investors start circling, Casey enlists Jackson Quaid, Celia's nephew and Casey's longtime crush, as her reluctant investigation assistant. Jackson is practical. Casey has a wild imagination. Together they dodge Casey's boss and gather intel and kiss. Lots of kissing, though probably not the best idea to start an unexpected romance. Doing it while keeping 2 feisty ladies from going to jail for knocking off bad husbands, even if those husbands deserve it, might be impossible, but Casey never shied away from a challenge. Now, this could probably go under, I didn't know this is what this was about, although I know the author is romance. I thought she crossed over into mystery, but I think this is one of those hybrids that are happening. The mystery rom mysteries. But I love, actually, the concept of this. We'll take care of those husbands that need to not be there anymore. Kim asked my question. Yep, we usually get one more cold snap at Easter. I hope with it being late in April, we won't this year. Got a dress off shine for Easter. Oh, nice. Yeah, we have one more snow coming somewhere. Probably in at least one more. But not today. You Deserve to Know by Aggie Bloom Thompson. Neighbors Gwen, Amy, and Lisa share more than playdates and coffee mornings on their tranquil street in East Bethesda. They confide their deepest secrets, navigate the challenges of motherhood together, and support us and provide a support system that seems unbreakable. But when Gwen's husband is found murdered after one of their weekly Friday night dinners, the peaceful quiet of their cul-de-sac shatters. The seemingly idyllic world of the three close-knit mom friends becomes a web of deception, betrayal, and revenge. As the police investigate, the veneer of friendship begins to crack, revealing hidden tensions, clandestine affairs, and long-buried jealousies among the three women. With suspicions mounting and the neighborhood gripped by fear, Gwen, Amy, and Lisa must confront the chilling truth about their husbands and the sinister undercurrents in their own friendship. We have a theme of husbands today, it seems. Joel Rosenberg has a new one. 6th in the Marcus Ryder series, The Beijing Betrayal. Oh, this is the final installment of this series, it says. The leaders of Communist China are secretly plotting to invade Taiwan and challenge American supremacy in the Pacific, and no one in Washington has any idea what's coming. Marcus Riker has been tasked with hunting down Abu Nakba, the most wanted terrorist in the world. The latest intel sends him and his team to Pakistan. There they discover a horrifying secret inside a state-of-the-art lab. Marcus orders the lab rigged with explosives, but the plan goes bad and a massive explosion rocks the city. News of the blast breaks in Washington just as President Carlos Hernandez is engaged in tense trade negotiations to forge a landmark agreement with China on trade and counterterrorism. Little does the president realize that Beijing has almost finished preparing its imminent invasion of Taiwan, or that a terrifying new virus is about to be unleashed inside the U.S. to kill millions and thwart Washington's capacity to defend its ally. In the riveting conclusion to this best-selling series, Riker and his team must race to stop Beijing and the Kairos terror network before they unleash a catastrophe that brings the superpowers to the brink of nuclear war. You know I love me some Spy versus Spy, but I've not read that. D.D. Black, author, 11th in the Thomas Austin crime thriller series. This is The Secrets of Second Beach. She lived her life online, her final post a cry for help, but the myths of Second Beach answered only with silence. When the body of a beloved social media star washes up on the rocky shores of Second Beach, panic spreads through the surrounding coastal community. What was once a peaceful haven is now shrouded in fear, and the locals demand answers. Sorry about that. But what begins as a tragic mystery quickly spirals into something far more sinister. Beneath the surface of Washington's sleepy beach towns lies a hidden underworld, a secretive criminal syndicate that has operated in the shadows for years. Are they involved, or is something even darker lurking in the mists? As Detective Thomas Austin uncovers secret after long-buried secret, he discovers a chilling truth that has been hiding in plain sight for decades. And the deeper Austin digs, the closer he comes to a devastating revelation that could rock the entire Pacific Northwest. The entire Pacific Northwest. End of row 2. So I suppose it stops at the border at Idaho, so nothing to worry there. The Human Scale by Lawrence Wright. A thriller. Tony Malik, a half-Irish, half-Arab FBI agent based in New York, specializes in tracking money from drug and arm deals. His life takes a dramatic turn when a long-term relationship ends and his job hangs in the balance. Amid personal turmoil, Malik becomes intrigued by his Palestinian father's past. He decides to visit his ancestral homeland for his niece's wedding, accepting a seemingly simple FBI assignment along the way. There are no simple FBI assignments. Upon arrival in the West Bank, Malik's world is upended when the Israeli police chief is murdered. Initially a suspect, Malik's investigative prowess soon earns him a place in the Israeli investigation. At the heart of the story is Malik's complex relationship with Yossi, the hardline anti-Arab Israeli police officer leading the case. They must learn to trust each other because, as they move closer to solving the case, they realize there is no one else they can trust on either side, etc. Perhaps this is a sign that I need to read, maybe not a thriller, maybe a procedural or a spy versus spy, because these are sounding good to me. He says, don't forget about the lunar eclipse on the 13th and 14th. Lots going on in the skies. I love it. White King by Juan Gomez Jurado, third in the Antonia Scott series. Oh, this one also was on my radar. Antonia Scott has an unusually gifted forensic mind whose ability to reconstruct crimes and solve baffling murders is legendary. She's the linchpin of a top-secret project, Red Queen, created to work across borders and behind the scenes to solve the most devious and dangerous crimes, those that are beyond the skills of the regular police forces. But the Red Queen project is under attack on all fronts. Across Europe, its agents are murdering each other, and cases from the past long believed resolved are rearing their deadly heads again. At the center of it is the mysterious Mr. White, who has been weaving, first I think James Bond, Mr. White, who has been weaving a web around Antonia for a very long time. He is as smart and capable as her, but unlike her, he's a psychotic killer who has isolated Antonia Scott. John Gutierrez, Antonia's protector and the only person she trusts, has been kidnapped. Antonia's husband has been killed and her remaining family is in hiding. With John's life at stake, Mr. White gives her a seemingly innocuous challenge. Sorry about that. Solve 3 crimes and bring the perpetrators to justice. The only way to keep John alive is to play Mr. White's game. But can even Antonia win a game when she can only see part of the board? Ooh, I'm intrigued. I should check out the first book. That one might be our winner. Maybe. They all sound good. Cold Finish by Mary Stone. Wrong one. 15th in the Ellie Klein Mysteries. Oh, with that title, does this mean this is a cold case? 1 murder is chance. 2 is coincidence. 3 is death. No, they're all death. Life can change in the blink of an eye. One moment, Charleston homicide detective Ellie Klein is staring at the man of her dreams, her heart ready to say yes to the biggest question of her life. The next, she's staring at the blood-soaked crime scene where her martial arts instructor was murdered and her father stands accused. Love is patient. Murder isn't. Ellie knows that her father isn't capable of murder. He's a fixture in Charleston, renowned for his philanthropy. He was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time, covered in the wrong man's blood. So why was he meeting the Krav Maga dojo man he claims to barely know? Unfortunately, no one's talking. Her mother's dodging questions. Her father is silent. Her mentor is dead, and every one of them is lying. As Ellie scrambles to understand it all, she's summoned to investigate the execution-style murder of a CFO. But she soon suspects the 2 murders and her father are somehow connected. Ellie's parents are hiding something worth killing for. And unless Ellie can figure out what, her father is next on the killer's list. Simon Scarrow has a new one. A Death in Berlin, 3rd in the Berlin Wartime Thrillers. C.I. Horst Schenke is an investigator with the Kripo unit. Powerless against the consequences of the war, he fights to keep criminals off his patch, but with doubts growing about his loyalty to the Nazi regime, he is walking a tightrope. If his relationship with a Jewish woman is exposed, a dreadful fate awaits. Berlin's gangsters run their crime rings with impunity. Decadent senior Nazis protect them. Schenke is different. He won't turn a blind eye when innocents are caught in the crossfire between warring gangs. But dangerous enemies know everything about him. They will do whatever it takes to bend him to their will. ... End of that row. A Killable Feast by Susan Kiernan Lewis, 14th in the Claire Baskerville Mysteries. Revenge is a dish best served cold, where it can be enjoyed over and over and over again, like pizza. When Claire's grandson is framed for murder at one of Paris's most iconic cafes, the stakes for finding him innocent could not be higher. With her unique perspective shaped by face blindness, Claire must navigate a labyrinth of revenge, deceit, and hidden double motives. Every clue she uncovers leads her deeper into the murky underworld she thought had died with her father. Time is not her friend in this nail-biting race to save her grandson from a life in prison. Will she clear his name and save her own place in the city she calls home? Or will she see her only grandson indicted for crime he a crime he didn't commit. Although she won't really see it because apparently she's face blind. Boom, boom. Okay. Moving on. Vanishing Daughters. Oh, pizza now sounds pretty tasty. Haven't had it in a long time. Yes, you must. Vanishing Daughters by Cynthia Pelayo. A haunted woman stalked by a serial killer confronts the horrors of fairy tales and the nightmares of real life, etc., etc. Bram Stoker award-winning author. That means horror. It started the night journalist Briar Thorne's mother died in their rambling old mansion on Chicago's South Side. The nightmares of a woman in white pleading to come home, music switched on in locked rooms, and the panicked fear of being swallowed by the dark. Bree has almost convinced herself that these stirrings of dread are simply manifestations of grief, and not the beyond world of ghostly impossibilities her mother believed in, etc. That sounds more horror-ish. We're moving on. Whatever It Takes by Rachel Abbott. He played by the rules until the only rule that mattered was survival. Recovering from a gunshot wound that nearly cost him his life, DCI Tom Douglas isn't focused on himself. His concern is for his brother Jack, who seems to have vanished without a trace. Jack's past is as dangerous as it is complicated. Years ago, he faked his own death to escape an organized crime group, and ever since, he's been living in the shadows, always one step ahead of those who want to hunt him down. Now Tom's worst fears are coming true. Has Jack's past finally caught up with him, and what does that mean for his family? Tom has to find them, but the answers he seeks are hidden in a brutal underworld, one more threatening than anything Tom has faced before. We're going to put this one in. Play with Fire by T.M. Payne, third in the Detective Sheridan Haller series. A missing woman, a gruesome delivery, a terrifying discovery. Where is Carolyn Crowe? All has been quiet in Liverpool, suspiciously quiet. So when a frantic 999 call comes into Hale Street Police Station reporting a missing woman, it seems like there's work to do. Except for D.I. Sheridan Haller, there are questions. Why did Carolyn Crowe take her purse, suitcase, and even tell friends she was going away? There's no reason to suspect foul play until a severed, burned hand is delivered to another address. With no hard evidence linking the two cases, Haller's gut is telling her that all is not as it seems, and if she's right, time is running out to find Carolyn alive. And that is all we have time for today. We got to most of them. Almost all. Okay, I had pizza a couple weeks ago. Yummy. We'll go this afternoon for beef tips and rice, your Tuesday thing. Exactly, your Tuesday lunch dinner. And Mary says, sounds delicious, Kim. No, you will enjoy it. Absolutely. All right. Did I have that up all the time? Well, that is all we have time for today. Tomorrow we'll be looking at romance being published this week. And I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. If you want to come, that would be lovely. I will be here. Mary, thanks so much. Hope you have a great day. See you tomorrow for some romance. Indeed. Hope you have a good day looking for a new book. Kim, enjoy your lunch/dinner. And I hope to see you guys soon. Please take care of yourselves. Enjoy your day. Read good books. And as the banner says here, after Kim says, have a great day, y'all. Absolutely. Back at you, baby. Don't be a bookworm. Be a bookie monster. Nom, nom, nom. Have a good day. God bless.